President-elect Donald Trump's 2024 election victory has officially been certified by Congress. The joint session gathered today in Washington in what would be a very ordinary process, especially compared to the January 6 riots at the Capitol 4 years ago. No challenges or objections were raised by any lawmakers throughout the process, which was under the highest level of security possible today. And here's Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes to discuss this more. And of course, after 4 years ago, much more security was implemented into a situation that did not want to erupt like what we did see 4 years ago.
Rather have more than less. I mean, you can always take it away, but you can't add it when you're in the middle of it. I mean, and that was a problem when you have these organizations that are in silos, right? When folks are just not talking to each other, things like that happen. I think folks got together and they said, going forward, this is what needs to happen. They put up the fences. You got more folks around there, ensuring that just in case something happens, even though there was no hint of anything even allegedly going to happen, let's make sure that we're over prepared because we can ensure that the peaceful transfer of power happens without interruption.
And one of the more surreal notes that happened here today was Vice President Kamala Harris overseeing the proceedings that happened because she is heads of the Senate as well. And that's kind of an historic moment that happened here today.
First time since Al Gore did it at not almost, but exactly 24 years to the day. And so you're looking at history that happened today, that process when folks were looking for objections, where folks were looking for challenges. Those were kind of what hints we're talking about on social media that maybe we see some objections. I look back at the Al Gore situation. I mean, that was ensuring that even if I don't agree with what happened, the Constitution as the president of the Senate right now during this process, it's my job to allow the process to go forward peacefully. I just remember one thing, Maxine Waters during that moment was trying to raise an objection. And he said, well, do you have a signature from a senator? And she says, well, I don't care about a signature. And he goes and says, well, the rules require that we have a signature. And he was very stern about that. Even though he made a joke about it, it was important that you recognize that we have rules that we have to follow. Today echoed that moment, and I'm glad that we had that moment here so that we can try to find a way to go forward. There has to be a path, and today was the first step in.
January 6, 4 years ago, the Justice Department had one of their largest investigations ever in the history of the United States with many, many convictions, some of those here in North and South Carolina. President-elect Trump says he may pardon some of those
1,600 plus individuals were in that investigation, most of which have already been convicted, some still waiting to go to trial and or plea. What I can say is they're all waiting on hands and nails, waiting to figure out what he will do because he is the sole person that can make that determination. The executive office holds the executive power of being able to pardon in that situation, justifiably given to him by the Constitution. Now, will he make that determination or not? We'll see in the next couple of days.
Yeah, President-elect Trump's inauguration happening on January 20th, and we here at Queen City News will be covering that. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks.